I am here with Jonard Solie, I guess the second, because that was your father, Gordon Solie's real name. To all the fans, I must apologize. I was at Gordon Solie's induction into the Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame in Florida this past October, but the sound did not work on my recording device, so if anyone out there has a videotape with sound or any audio capturing of that great induction of your father into the Florida Hall of Fame, please send it to me. I can make use of it. But what brings you here today?
Well, I was talking to Jerry Briscoe a few months ago, and I said, you know, I've got all my dad's plaques and all his trophies. I said, but I don't get a lot of people coming through my house, and I wanted to share them with the public. And I asked him, I said, what museum would you recommend? And Jerry said, Dan Gable's. So I called them up and found out when they were having their Hall of Fame. And I said, how about if I send you the stuff and we'll put it on display there. So it's on display with them, but in the long run will belong to them on it. But if I ever need to move it to another museum, I can, but I don't ever plan on it. So I honored my dad by giving the WCW plaque, the WWF plaque, and then the third plaque, I think, is the NWA. He had won that outstanding TV show for five straight years in a row. And I just felt that this was something better for the fans. They can appreciate it. They can come see it. And that's really what it's about. The fans, he loved the fans. He always had time to sit and talk to them. He never got upset if somebody bothered him when we were out to dinner. As he said, they pay his salary. So he's always got time for them.
Now, do you have any social media or anything where you share memories of your father or pictures?
I don't right now, but I do plan on putting one up. My brother's got one, but he hasn't really done much with it, so I'm going to be talking to him about starting to put up photos, because I've got a ton of photos of my dad that I know the people would like to see. And I also want to show him the side of my dad at home. Right. You know, because he loved to play pool. Every Christmas we had a billiards championship in the family. Of course, we never finished it until Easter. You know, it took us that long to play. But that's some of the stuff I'd like to give to the fans.
Who was his favorite wrestler?
There's two. Well, actually, probably three. I take that back. Don Curtis, Jack Briscoe, and Harley Race. He and Don had been friends for years and years, and Dottie had given me a little cowboy horse and rider when I was a little kid, and so he'd always been friends with them. So Don would be his probably first one, and then Jack.
And do you have any favorite memory of him you want to share to close this off?
The way he treated people. He was always down to earth. He always told me, he says, no matter where you get in life, remember where you came from, and treat people with respect, and that's what I try to do. I try to honor him in that way.
Well, that's great. I'm a big fan of his work, definitely. It's always between Jim Ross and Gordon Solie, I think, in everyone's book. J.J. Dillon, during that speech when Gordon Solie was inducted into the Florida Hall of Fame, actually said J.J.'s favorite commentator was Gordon Solie. So I'll say it's still a tie in my book. I'll be neutral, but he's a great man, and thank you for donating this to this very impressive Hall of Fame.
Well, I have more stuff coming, so hopefully next time there'll be a lot more stuff. But for my dad, I like to say, this is Jonard Solie for Gordon Solie saying so long from the Sunshine State.